1000 only. Every episode I kill 1000 monsters and perform 1000 skilling actions to upgrade my gear, stats and wealth. But here comes the best part. You, the viewer, will shape the future of the series. By releasing a poll after each episode, I give you the power to vote on what task I will set myself next. For a full list of the rules and restrictions, check out the description of the video. Are you ready? Let's begin. Hey there everyone, my name is Vannaka and welcome to another 1000 only episode, Krystilia Slayer Kills. Before I start, I want to say how grateful I am that this series is still getting so much support from you all. I had to let it sink in for a moment to realize that this is episode 25 already. Just think about it. You, the viewer, have made the account what it is today, because on all those videos you voted on the polls to decide what I would be doing next. And I think this is something unique in the RuneScape community and I want to keep it this way. Alright, so as you all know, every 5th episode we do something that is Slayer related. And today I will kill 1000 creatures on task at Krystilia, the Wilderness Slayer Master. So I first decided to sell some items in my bank because I'm going to need a lot of money in this episode. I sold my black mask because I don't want to risk it in the wilderness, and an item like brimstone boots isn't really needed either. I also got rid of my Christmas items since they are not rare on old school anyway, and I reorganized my entire bank because this was something that really needed to be done, especially after the insane achievement diary episode we did last time. Since we are killing stuff in the wilderness, I decided to get some very cheap setups for mage, range and melee to do all the kills without potentially losing a lot of gear. For mage I bought a trident, for range some blowpipe ammunition, and for melee I already had some weapons in the bank. But anyway, now that we have prepared for the grind, let's go and get our first Wilderness Slayer task. So just before getting my first Slayer task, I got a Book of Knowledge, which was quite lucky, and of course I used it on Slayer because the more XP, the better. I cancelled my Crawling Hands task, which I got from the Cannabis Slayer Master during the Achievement Diary episode, and claimed a new one, and my first task is Chaos Druids. So for this task I decided to kill the Elder Chaos Druids, and this is not a bad task since there is an altar for free prayer, and with my new piety bonus I can kill them quite easily. And also they're below level 20 wilderness, so I was able to bank my loot quickly as well. During the task I also got 74 attack, which means I only need one more level until I can wield God Swords, and that sounds very interesting. And not much later I got my first heart clue. Of course I can complete all of them, so that is casket number 1 right there. So I went back to the druids and I received a regular Zemi monk robe, and that is a bit unlucky because this could have been the Elder Chaos Druids robes as well, although this is a bit more rare. And if that was not unlucky enough, I also received the top just a few kills later. I mean, it could have been so much better, but luckily though, I got my first 2 Larens keys after this, and these may potentially be very valuable. I mean, I can bring these to the big chest at Deep Wildy for great loot, so I can't wait to open those. And just before I finished the task, I got another heart clue, so this task was actually quite amazing. 70 kills, 2 Larens keys and 2 heart caskets. Alright, so it was time for the next task, and this one was a bit less exciting, 82 bears. Now if my combat level was higher, I could have done Callisto, but as you've probably seen the intro, I am a baby, so I asked for the easy tasks this time. During the task I did get a beginner clue though, but let's be honest, that is not going to make us millions of money, so oh well. I completed the task quickly and found my way to Krystilia again, and the third task was not amazing either, but I gotta say, I kinda liked it. We got 123 ice giants for my task, and at first I thought I needed to go to Deep Wildy in order to kill these, but I totally forgot that we have the Wilderness Slayer cave now, so I killed them there. And the crazy thing is that during all my time here, I haven't seen one single PKer. I had a feeling it would be very crowded in here, but everything seemed just fine. I mean, you won't hear me complain about that, but it's the way it is. So the task started with some great drops such as a Laren Ski and a Renar Seed, and then it became a bit more boring drop wise, but I did increase a Slayer level to 68 and HP to 82. I know that the levels are taking longer every episode to level up, but we're still making progress, and 68 Slayer means I only need one more level to complete Monkey Madness 2 to get access to Demonic Gorillas. Alright then, task number 4, what will it be? Well, I can tell you it's gonna be awful again, Earth Warriors. That sounds like a smelly boy task, but of course, we're gonna do it. Even though this task was incredibly boring and we didn't receive any good drop whatsoever, I had my friend Mestrado to spice up the clip a little. His dancing skills are out of this world. So when we finally got that done, we got something better. 137 spiritual creatures. Now I know that these are usually quite annoying to kill, but in the wilderness their drops are actually pretty decent. They drop Laren's keys, high level alchables such as rune items and ecumenical keys, and not to forget, clue scrolls. Once again I was surprised there was no single player to hunt me down. In the wilderness it seemed really peaceful, even at peak time. Kinda weird, but of course I don't care. Now during the task I got one problem with ecumenical keys, because the problem is I can only have 3 of them at a time unless I've completed more diaries, so after obtaining them I had no choice but to elk them for money so I could collect more of them. So during the task I did receive a couple of clues, and for one I had to visit the nightmare in sleep. Kinda scary, but luckily I didn't have to kill him of course. So this task was absolutely mental loot wise compared to the other ones, with all these clues, keys and great drops in general. I also got 75 attacks so I can finally wield a god sword. It's time to save up for a Ceradomin one. So we killed all these spiritual creatures and finally got our first 25 Slayer points from this master. And then I went for the next task and got 10 black dragons. Now I actually really liked this one because it's a short task, but it will give us another 25 points. When I was making the video I had no idea black dragons are actually in the Wilderness Slayer dungeon as well, so I killed them in the lava maze, but oh well, it was a short task anyway. On task number 7 I got spiders, and this is the same problem as with the bears because I can't kill Vannaka. Even if I use the safe spot it will take too long and the PK will probably come in, so I had to do it the baby way. I killed deadly red spiders in the Edgeville dungeon. Now I did get a beginner clue on the way, which isn't great, but at least something. Well, you're not going to like what the next task was, because once again we got bears and it kinda felt like a waste of kills at this point. Now of course they are easy and quick, but we need rewards and this is not really helping so far. But the next task was a bit better because we got Chaos Druids again, which means I was going to go to the Elder Chaos Druids once again. And you guessed it, it was raining Laren's keys again. In 50 kills I received another 2 keys, which really adds up to the stack. I completed the task quickly and moved on to task number 10. Once again I got spiritual creatures and I was very happy to see this task because you saw it earlier, the drops are quite good. I got a defense level to 72 and also received some special drops like ecumenical keys, slayer enchantments, rune items and even a genie for a slayer lamp. Once again I had to elk 3 more ecumenical keys and they are worth around 60k each, so that really adds up. And completing this task got me an insane boost on my slayer points because I received 5 times the points, which means I was on 306 slayer points. But of course the grind wasn't over yet, because for the first time I had to kill demons in the wilderness. And even though they were just the lesser ones, they did drop me a Laren's key and they are not bad slayer experience. To be a bit more safe, I brought Glory Teleports because these can teleport up to level 30 wildy, so this way I had a way to escape from PKers or simply to bank my loot. I also received another Slayer enchantment, but I gotta say that these things are pretty useless. It's a special drop, but worth less than 1k. And now we have come to the very last task of the kills, which is 137 Black Demons. Now in order to finish the 1k kills, I only needed to do 67, so that is what I did. Once again I went to the Wilderness Slayer cave and I found a pretty good method to venom every single one of them to speed up my kills. Now the demons have a slightly improved drop table, but it's not that spectacular still, in my opinion. But at least they drop Laren's keys, clue scrolls and rune items. I've also trained my range a level here to 85, which is looking good my friends. Only 14 more levels until the almighty level 99, and for some reason I feel like range is gonna be our first 99. But this is it, the final demon kill. Let's now go to the GE and price check our loot. So in total we have 4 inventories to price check, but the first one contains the coins, ensouled heads, bones, herbs and more. And in total this has a value of about 300k, but we have not included the ecumenical keys yet. The second inventory is full of seeds, and some of them are useful and some of them are not. And also runes and resources in this inventory. And in total 163k. The next inventory is mainly full of armor drops, and most of them are useless, but in total this is worth about 205k. And last but not least, we got our fourth inventory filled with rune items and some random stuff, and this is worth 219k. So that means that everything together should be worth about 887k, but we also elked 6 ecumenical keys before, which should add up to about 1.2 mil. Alright, give me the music and let's sell everything. So here we are, we sold it all and got 1,261,000. But of course we are not done yet, because first we need to open the clue and Laren's chests. Let's begin with the clues. After selling all the clues, we got 1,577,000, and I think that this could have been a bit better, right? We've not been too lucky on the drops, but of course we still have our Laren's keys, so let's hope these will help us out a bit to make more money. Here we go. Well, we opened all the 11 chests and we didn't die, which is very important. And here is the total loot from all the keys. We got 1.5 mil, which is kinda equal to the rest of the loot. Now, unfortunately, we did not receive any Dagon High robes, because this would have boosted our total loot by a huge amount, but perhaps I will be more lucky in the future. So everything together is worth 3,072,000. I am happy with this amount, but when we first started the episode, I really expected to make a bit more money, if I have to be completely honest. But the killing part is hereby completed, and now it's time to get into the skills. In the previous episode, we did Tears of Gothics and we got experience in construction, so that is the skill we are going to train in this episode. A lot of you wanted me to do mahogany homes, and I agree that this is the perfect way to spend my time on training construction. The only question is, how big is the task I will set myself? Will I consume 1k planks, collect 1k points, or complete 1000 contracts? Well, for this video I decided to collect 1000 points by completing 250 adept tier contracts. This was a pretty big job, and that is why it took me a bit longer to upload this episode, but we have done it. I invested millions of money in planks, steel bars and teleports to complete this task. I went to Amy in Valador and started to collect my points. Now at first I needed to get the hang of it, but it actually got easier once I started to learn how to do this efficiently. It is still pretty tedious because many actions are required, but it's a more cost-friendly method for training construction and I really enjoyed it. You can receive tasks in Valador, Varrock, Ardi and Hosidius. Also, after every task you can drink tea, which restores your run energy back to 100%. I gotta say that I'm very happy that we're finally doing construction in this episode, because in my opinion my house really needs an upgrade. I just want to be able to teleport to my house and from there be able to access as many places in Gielinor as possible. So during the grind I trained many construction levels, starting at 53 at the beginning to 72 in the end. And this will give us access to a lot more stuff, which I will get to in a second. But the minigame Mahogany Homes itself also has some nice rewards. After 350 points, I bought myself a plank sack which holds up to 28 planks, and this really speeds up the process. And with another 500 points, I purchased the equipable saw, and this saves another inventory slot. In the end, I had 150 points left, which I will keep for now, because there will be a moment in the future where we do another 1000 contracts, and then I can spend them all on the construction outfit. But anyway, after all this grinding, I finally reached my goal of completing 250 adept contracts, which is 1k points. And you would say that this is it, right? But no, it's not. Our construction grind has only just started. You may remember that in the previous episode I asked you guys to vote on what I should spend my money on, and most of you wanted me to spend even more money on construction to upgrade it even better than just with mahogany homes. So that is what I did. In a way, it kinda hurts, but I had to sell almost everything in my bank to get to the goal I wanted to achieve. I decided to get enough construction supplies to reach level 77 in order to build every single clue stash in the game up until elite. And as you may know, I want to focus more on high level clues later on in the future, and this is a very nice start. I had to sell almost everything, including my whip, blowpipe and more in order to buy everything I needed. First the planks to reach level 77 construction in the first place, but also every single clue item that needs to be put in a stash. It literally took me more than an hour to buy these items. I gotta say, that is pretty mad. So the grind was on. I started to train construction once again to get the required level, and this took about 2 hours. And I also spent some gold leaves on building a dungeon and servants' money back, so rip my bank. Then I finally got level 77, and that means it was time for the 4th grind of this video, building the stashes. It may have been because of all this grinding, but I was so stupid to completely forget about the plank sack I obtained earlier during Mahogany Homes. So I did almost every single clue stash with my regular inventory, and it really hurt when I realized I could have used my plank sack instead, but I guess it happens. Let's forget about that and just move on. I think it was super important to build these stashes because they normally take up so much inventory or bank space, and it just really gets messy in the bank, and I really don't like that. It took me a couple of hours to build every single clue stash, but in the end I managed to do it, and that was very satisfying. I have now built everything up until elite, and I'm sure this will come in very handy in the future. And to celebrate this, I got myself killed by a black dragon. And also, in Watson's house you can actually check which stash you have built, and I didn't know this before, so that was a huge discovery and really useful. Okay, so after all this, what is the one thing we were going for and still haven't done yet? It is of course the house upgrade. So here comes the shocking part. I decided to wipe my entire bank. Yes, I actually did this. I want my house to be as perfect as it can be on my level, and for this, I am fine with being completely broke in the next episode. First, I completed the quest Eyes of Glowfrey to get a +3 invisible construction boost for everything that can be built with a saw. And then it was time to start building. So after doing all this, I have 3 mil left for the next episode to invest my money in. But before we start talking about that, it is time to play a game of Tears of Gothics to see what the next skill is going to be. This week we got woodcutting experience, so you know what that means, my friends. Share your ideas for the next woodcutting task in the comments, and maybe I will pick your idea. So let's now take a look at the stats we have trained. In this episode we have trained our attack to level 75, defense to 73, range to 85, construction from 53 to 77, I really wanted to mention that, 8 points to 82, Slayer to 69, and our combat level is now 95. And now it is finally time for the next poll, and one thing is for sure, if we want to kill high level bosses or play things like Barrows in the future, we will need to make some money back. And that is why I put some good money makers in the options today. So this time you may vote for 1000 times Celerin the Twisted, 1000 green dragons, or 1000 Fire Watches. If we choose to kill Celerin the Twisted, we will get loads of herbs and sinister keys. It even has a chance of dropping elite clues, although this chance is very slim. However, if I do end up getting one of the requirements I don't have, I will allow myself to pass the 1000 grind to complete the elite clue. The only place you can find green dragons is in the wilderness, so that is where we will go. With an imbued Ring of Wealth, we have double chance of receiving clues, and thanks to the dragon bones and hides, we will have a guaranteed moneymaker by the end of this episode. In order to kill Fire Watches, we will complete the quest A Taste of Hope first. This will get us the Dracon's Medallion, which is a great new teleport option, and the vampires have a very interesting drop table with also hard clues as well. Very interesting. So if you want to vote, this is very easy to do. Simply click on the link in the description or comments and choose your favorite option because it takes like 10 seconds. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then make sure to do this as well to never miss a video. So we finally have come to an end of this episode. It took me a very long time to make and I hope you all enjoyed it. Now next week I will be live on Twitch again to kill whatever monster you guys have voted for. Thank you all so much for watching and until next time, bye bye.